Hi guys, Shaunee Brandon here, back with another monthly video. And listen, let me give all my disclaimers from the start. I've been doing the sermon series and I've been doing a lot of different videos that were kind of pre-recorded, but I didn't want to do that this month because I have news and I have other things I want to share. And so part of my disclaimers is I'm hopping on here right before we go to church, which means my family's home. They're noisy. We have 2 dogs, 2 kids, and a husband. So if you hear noise, and they're doing some construction to my husband's studio in the basement. So if you hear any noise, I'm just telling y'all now, you getting real life, live, in action, in living color. But listen, before I get into all of the details of this month's video, I'm Shaunee Brandon. For those that may have stumbled across this video, maybe somebody sent it to you, I am Shaunee. I am the originator of this channel, and this channel is an extension of my blog, and this channel focuses on the faith side of what it is that I do. I've dedicated this channel to that, all things God, all things faith, and so that's what this focus is about. But my blog is about everything from family to faith to fashion to fun. And you can find my blog at www.shauneebrandon.com. You can find me on all social media outlets pretty much, even though I'm more active on some than others and in certain ways. And so hey, follow me, find me on there if you feel led. But listen, this month's video is all about bringing you up to date with some great things that are coming, but also kind of testifying and bringing you into a journey, just a little piece of a journey, because I feel like every time I get ready to share my testimony, God adds to it, and it doesn't feel done yet. So it feels like I've prematurely shared something before God is like doing something else profound in my life and in my development. I share the process more than I do the outcome. I share like all of the intricate ways that he works more than what he's getting to, because the intricate ways that he works are, to me, more profound than when you actually get to where you're going. Because without all of the ways that he works, when you get where you're going, you don't appreciate it. Even though we think the destination is the biggest part, it's not. It's how smart God is when he's doing all of these little things and they all get knitted together piece by piece and brought together. And before you know it, it is something incredible. And he'll bring something from 1929 into 2023, but also go back to like 1956 or even the 1800s. And he'll tie them all together and your mind is just blown. Okay. And so I try to share my testimony and then I'm just always like blown away again. And so listen, let me tell you guys my main reason for doing this video. I know people string you along and then wait till you get to the end before they share the good news. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it up front because the good news leads to faith talk. Okay. And so listen, next month, the prospective date that I am sticking to is August the 5th. Now it may go into August the 12th. But I'm saying August the 5th. It depends on my bandwidth. On August the 5th or August the 12th, I'm finally releasing the Shaunee Brandon brand. Yay! 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 Ben, you can either put that here or put that here or put it both. Ben is my tech guy, you guys. The Shaunee Brandon brand, y'all. It's finally being released. Yeah. And you might be saying, so what? Who cares? I don't like the way you dress anyway, girl. You think you something. That's what people say. You think you something. She thinks she all that. I've never said I'm all that. Now I will say I'm something because God says I'm something. But for those who care and that are interested, I'm finally releasing the Shaunee Brandon brand. I'm opening a website. I'm going to be selling things I would wear. If it's not something I wouldn't wear, I'm not selling it. If it's not something I wouldn't put on my face, my ears, my neck, my chest, my back, my legs, if it's not something I wouldn't wear, I'm not going to sell it. And so it's a way for me to just give the world bits and pieces of my perspective of fashion. And quickly, there's going to be parts of the brand. There's a faith side where there's faith merch, and it's really cool faith merch. When I say faith merch, that's really cool. I mean, there's some that is just undeniably Christian, but then there's some that's covert. And I love covert stuff because people will be a whole atheist or something else and wearing your stuff because they just like it and they don't know that they're testifying about a creator that they don't serve. So when you just make stuff that's cool, people want to buy it. They don't know that it's like a hidden message and that it's a seed in their life for them to come to know him. And so I have faith merch that is a perspective of faith merch I would wear that I think is fantastic and cool. I got sweatshirts, hoodies, trucker hats, dog tags. Like, listen, you're going to be fly and faithful all in one. Hey, faith merch. Then there's a boutique side, and the boutique side is pre-made retail pieces, okay, that you may be saying, well, I can go buy that anywhere. Well, go head on then and do it. But it's pre-made boutique retail pieces that are just curated pieces that I find that I think is fly, that I think is trendy, and that I would wear. The difference is because you may see when I release stuff, you may say, well, I saw this here. I saw that person wearing it. Great, fine and dandy. But this is the thing. Everything that I sell, I incorporate accessories and pieces from my site to go with it. So I take some of the guesswork out of your wear. I have a lot of people ask me, I just don't know how to put stuff together. I don't know how to pair things. I'm taking the guesswork out of it for you. I'm giving you a main piece. I'm giving you accessories. And then all you got to do is put your shoes with it, put your own tank top or jeans, your own purse, and then you're done. So I'm giving you options. Speaking of, leading from the boutique side, we're going to have accessories. So I'm going to have all sorts of fun, fly accessories for you to put with your stuff. And the thing about accessories, the power of accessories, is it can transform any look. It can be the most basic white tee with a pair of jeans and sandals. And if you accessorize it right, put your hat, your glasses, your rings and all that good stuff, it just looks fly. People underestimate what accessories do. So I have an accessory side. Then there's the custom apparel side. These are all pieces that I've went and hand selected fabric. I've cut out patterns. I've cut out fabric. I've sewn them together, or I have outsourced it to other people that I've said, this is what I want made. My mom is fly in creating like some of the best crochet pieces. I'm going to incorporate some of those on the site. My sister makes amazing items. I'm going to incorporate those on the site. But anything that is custom made is handmade items, one of a kind. I'm on the boutique side, I might have 10 items of this, but on the custom side, it may only be 2. And first come, first serve, and they're gone. And the whole point is to give you something that's one of a kind, to give you something that is unique. I get a lot of things custom made because I have so many clothes and so many items. I give so many things away. I sell them. And there comes a time when you're a fashion person that you want something that your imagination thinks up, not something that you can just go in the store and buy. It is an extension of my creativity as a creative to be able to make clothes and then offer them to people. And so if there's anything I'm really excited about, it's the custom apparel side, because I have some cool pieces that I'm going to be selling on that side. Handmade jewelry, handmade kimonos, like you're going to love it. And so lastly, the last part of the Shaunee brand that I'm releasing is styling services. The end of this year, I'm going to go on to styling services. I'm going to have styling classes, styling workshops, and I'm going to do personal styling services. I've had so many people ask me, and let me be fully transparent because I'm getting ready to get into the faith side of this. Sometimes you don't respond to invitations or you say no to things, not because you're capable, but because you don't know that you're capable. And here we go, steering into the faith side of this whole video. Years ago, when I released my blog, and when I say years, I mean like maybe 11 or 12 years ago, one of the things that I put on my blog was that there would be a boutique attached. I had this whole dream of blogging and vlogging and writing and eventually doing a boutique. Well, over the course of time and going through a lot of different things in life, it's funny how your disappointments in one area have a way of spilling over into multiple areas that have nothing to do with that one area. When hope gets deferred and disappointment takes place, it becomes, when you don't deal with it right and process it with God, it becomes like a poison that literally spills over into all of these areas of your life. So if you have disappointment, maybe in just like, let's say in a job, you got to let go of a job you really liked. I can understand you saying, I don't want to apply to another job. I don't want to work for anybody else. I just want to work for myself, because those are related. Okay. But if you get disappointed on your job and you don't just decide to not go apply anywhere else, but now you are struggling in trust in your relationships, you're struggling in your faith, you're struggling in your prayer life, you're struggling in other things that you had dreams or were gifted to do. And that is what happened to me over the course of time. I allowed my disappointments to become a teacher and to start to teach me to expect less or to expect disappointment. And so what we do to cover ourselves and to insulate ourselves from further disappointment is that we just stop dreaming, because if you don't dream, you don't have expectations. And if you don't have expectations, there's no occasion for disappointment. And so a lot of my dreams and things that I was actually gifted to do slowly started to die. I started to pull back from things that I was called to do, supposed to do, gifted to do. There were so many things. And listen, I need to be very clear. I did not consciously say, I'm not going to do these things. I don't want to do them. I no longer have a desire to do them. They just slowly and quietly get quenched within your spirit. And then you look up one day and you're living mediocre or doing the bare minimum or taking no risk and doing only what you trust as something you can do. And so what started to happen over the course of time, when the idea of a store or a brand or any of those things would come up, I would have conversations with myself or even people bringing them up that would bring up all of the negative sides of it. What could possibly happen? Not wanting to deal with customers, and everybody sells the same thing. And I don't want to be in a rat race, because let's be honest, if you pay attention to boutiques and online shops, it is highly competitive. I'm an avid shopper, an avid watcher. I will watch something for 2 years before I buy it, waiting on it to come down, waiting on a different color, size, whatever. And so I do a lot of watching and research for blogging and stuff like that. And it is a highly competitive market, the fashion field, all of it is very highly competitive. And I just did not have the courage to get into a competition. I still don't. I just don't want to compete against anybody but myself. And so I would have this conversation where I would say, I don't want to do, I'm good. I make good money here. I do this or that or whatever. And what started to happen, as God took me through some processes and started to heal certain areas of my life, amazing things started to happen to where I started to really feel dreams come alive and desires come alive inside of me. And then I felt the grace to start working on them. And that's part of the emergence of the Shaunee brand, is that God pushed me. Y'all, I wasn't sitting around thinking about opening a store or having a brand. I was happy to do consulting work. Some of you know I've consulted for other other stores and other mom and pop shop boutiques where I design clothes and they manufacture them and they send them to me and I model them. And I was so happy to be able to do that, where I could give you my ideas and I can tell you to make the sleeve like this and the train like that and the front like this. And I can pick out the fabrics and you do everything that I tell you. You send me photos, I approve it, then you send it to me for free and pay me commission to model it. Oh, this is great. But let me explain something to you. And one day I'll tell y'all the whole story when God is done with this part of the testimony, because he's still adding to it. But that was a gateway for me for things to come alive inside of me. And sometimes God doesn't just get to the end and say, open the Shaunee brand. Sometimes he starts here and starts just scooching you over slowly until everything lines up and you feel what was always inside of you come alive. And I'm telling you all, for those of you, this isn't just about me. I know you're here to hear updates and my testimony, but I want to share with you that there are dreams and there are purposes and there are visions from God inside of you. Okay, that he's already put in your heart. I want to say this. When Samuel went to anoint Saul, he said, on tomorrow, God is going to show you. As a matter of fact, he said, I'm going to tell you everything that's in your heart. He didn't say everything that is being put in your heart. He said it's already there. Here it is, Saul is there to be anointed king. And he starts running down his resume of why he's not qualified, that he comes from the smallest tribe and the smallest family in the tribe. And his opinion of himself is so low. And Samuel says to him, I'm going to tell you everything that's in your heart. Listen, in Proverbs, I think it's chapter 20, where it says, that there are plans, and I'm paraphrasing, there are plans in the heart of a man, but it takes a man of understanding to draw them out. And I feel like a lot of times we think it's somebody else that's the person of understanding that draws them out. And there's been plenty of times I've had to act as the person of understanding for other people, or have had to have other people do it for me. But often God transforms you into the man of understanding who draws out these dreams and these plans that are inside of your own heart. He doesn't always use somebody else. Sometimes he just levels you up to where you become the person that pulls out these dreams from your own heart. And you realize they not only were they here all along, but the plans to accomplish them were here. And I'm telling you all, there are things inside of you that your fears have taught you and told you are not possible. There are things inside of you that your disappointments have quenched. And as you yield to the Lord and as you submit your desires before him, he will begin to bring those things alive inside of you, because you will start to see how much of it is more about him than it is about you. When we excel and become everything that God has purposed inside of us, it speaks more about him than it does about us. People start to look at the God you serve and say, man, when we talk about tasting and seeing that he is good, how do you think people taste and see? They taste and see through our fruit. And so when we come into this place where the plans of God and the vision of God and the purpose of God comes alive in our hearts and in our lives, people don't just look at you. They look at you and say, man, what God do you serve? The same way Daniel began to excel and just began to thrive. And they said, man, he serves the God of Israel. Like when we step into our place and fulfill, people look at God. They want God. And so listen, y'all, I encourage you, stay the course, but ask God to bring those dreams and those visions alive in your heart. I will have more updates for you. In the meantime, please go over to the Shaunee Brand on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. Listen, go follow, because it's going to be go time in a minute. And I want y'all to know I've ordered limited quantities of everything I'm selling because I want to see what sells. So it's going to be first come, first serve. And whoever gets to it first gets it before I have to order more. But I'm so excited. I want you to follow. Please go over to the Shaunee Brand and Brand, the SB Brand website. Please subscribe so that when everything goes live at midnight on the 5th, you are there, or the 12th. Let me keep saying the 12th. It may be the 12th. Whichever day, the 5th or the 12th, it's a Friday. You've gotten paid. Save your money. Okay, please save your money because you're going to want to save your money. Don't spend it on something else. Tithe, of course, tithe. Give the Lord his money and pay your bills, but then head over to www.thesbbrand.com and get ready to shop on the 5th or the 12th, whichever one. All right. And go to the website, sign up for alerts. Please follow the social media pages, Shaunee Brandon's social media page, the SB Brand, because I'm going to be giving previews of all of the products I have. I'm really excited. Guys, I was terrified to do this once a while ago. Now there's like no sense of fear. There's a little anxiousness. This is probably the most, I don't want to say stress, but the most grind I've had to put into something where it's consuming. And my family is like, what are you doing? You're doing something all the time. So we're getting ready to go on family vacation. They're going to have all of me because they have been suffering, getting bits and pieces. Lots of mom guilt over here. Lots of mom guilt. But listen, I'm excited, y'all. Thank you for everybody who supported me so far in all of my endeavors. And please keep me in prayer. I just really believe this is the season where God is going to be like super glorified in my life. All right. I love y'all. Stay on the lookout. Stay faithful to God. Don't give up no matter what. All right. He's got a whole